Indija i Bosna i Hercegovina su više nacionalne, više kulturalne i više religijske zemlje koje dijele mnogo toga zajedničkog. Diplomatski odnosi uspostavljeni su prije 30 godina, ali i ranije za vrijeme bivše Jugoslavije postojale su kulturne veze između dvije zemlje. Iako Indija još uvijek nema svoje diplomatsko predstavništvo u Bosni i Hercegovini, sve više stanovnika naše zemlje posjećuje Indiju. Sa otvaranjem kulturnog centra u ambasadi Indije za Bosnu i Hercegovinu, čije je sjedište u Budimpešti, 2010. godine povećane su brojne aktivnosti vezane za ovu zemlju i u Bosni i Hercegovini. Tanuja Shankar, direktorica ovog centra, ističe svoje zadovoljstvo saradnjom sa Bosnom i Hercegovinom.
In the last, I can say about the last 3.5 years that I have been associated with the India Cultural Center, and I have been regularly visiting Bosnia, particularly Sarajevo, for various cultural activities. And what I feel is that love for India is immense, love for Indian culture is immense, and I also feel a very positive approach toward different elements like yoga as people call it, Indian music, then also elements of Indian cinema like Bollywood, art and culture of course. So the International Day of Yoga I think has been really taken very positively here, and in the last 5-6 years, as you know, we have had regular International Day of Yoga here. Besides that, there are many festivals in which we take part. I also feel that iconic personalities of India like Mahatma Gandhi, Rabindranath Tagore and other political figures also are taken very highly here. In fact, I must tell you about how Mahatma Gandhi is being treated here in full respect, I would say. In the last few, maybe 24 months, we have done several activities where we've had people who have given very beautiful messages on Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. We also did a digital exhibition here, and I saw that people take part, a lot in that, and also all the cultural organizations are also very, very supportive of that. So I think it's growing.
Od marta 2021. do augusta 2023. Indija obilježava 75 godina nezavisnosti od kolonijalne vladavine. Vlada Indije je ovaj događaj nazvala Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsav, što u prijevodu znači Festival slobode. Ovom inicijativom vlada Indije nastoji da obilježi 75 godina slavne prošlosti njenog naroda te napretka danas 6. ekonomije svijeta.
We got independence in 1947. So in 2022, we got independence in 1947. So in 2022, we'll be completing 75 years of independence. So these 75 years of growth trajectory, the 75 years of development, 75 years of progress, and the unity in diversity need to be shown to the world, need to be shown to the people of India also for inspiration. And as you know, without people's support, nothing has happened. Everything that has taken place in India in the last 75 years is because of the people. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi called it Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now, the literal meaning of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav means the festival of freedom. Amrit means the nectar, the elixir, that all of us are seeking for. Symbolically, we want to be immortal. So when we are talking about Azadi, who doesn't love freedom? So India really struggled for decades and centuries to achieve freedom. And when we got freedom, the free India had to see growth and development in different sectors like education, social changes, progress, development in infrastructure, and all these things happened in the last 75 years. So in the celebration of Amrit Mahotsav, I think celebrating art, music, culture with all our partners is very important. So Bosnian Indian Friendship Society is a very, very close partner of ours, which is always in step with whatever we are doing in Sarajevo and other cities of Bosnia. So we decided that let's do a small festival where we do partnership with our local, artists and local resources and the Indian artists and teachers. So that's why we have created this beautiful fusion where you will see some Bosnian artists, dancing on Indian music, and you will also see some Indian artists and Indian teachers creating absolutely mesmerizing traditional classical Indian music.
Obilježavanje Festivala slobode u Bosni i Hercegovini počelo je u februaru ove godine kulturnim događajem u Sarajevskom ateljeu figure, a u saradnji sa Udruženjem Bosansko-indijskog prijateljstva. Tom prilikom nastupila je i operna pjevačica Aida Čorbađić zajedno sa balerinama i muzičarima udruženja Belarte. Indijski umjetnici pri ambasadi Indije izveli su duet table koja je vrsta udaraljki i tradicionalnog katak plesa. U Indiji ples generalno, pa i klasični indijski plesovi, proizlaze iz božanskog.
In India, dance, music, art, they are all divine. It's a manifestation of us, within us and outside us. So when we talk about Lord Shiva, who is the god of art, music, dance, actually it is symbolic of the dance of cosmos. Dance of creation and dance of destruction. So in that way, Lord Shiva epitomizes all the elements of music and art and dance. But popularly, the Indian dance forms are also considered very sacred. So if you see, all the gods and goddesses have at least one instrument in their hands. Either they are playing a veena or they are actually dancing like Lord Shiva. And the postures of Lord Shiva, which is, I would say, the name of that particular form of Lord Shiva is called Nataraj, which means the king of dance. So he's basically dancing the whole, dance of the creation, and then one era ends and the other starts. So he's also the god of destruction. And in terms of different musical instruments and different dance forms, the artist is like a god. And he also worships his instrument like a god. So it's not something to be just enjoyed as a popular form of music, but it is something to be nurtured, and the artist, he invokes the god within him and he invokes the god around through the playing of music, through the dance postures, the different kind of facial movements and hand movements. The second part is that the dance forms and the music forms also take from different mythology. The devotional stories and various types of stories from Vedas, Puranas and Upanishads, who are the traditional scriptures of India. So if you look at the dance forms, you look at the storytelling through any classical form of dance or even the folk dances, you will actually see that they are singing praises of gods and goddesses. So it's not just entertainment. Entertainment is the second part of it. So the first part is that we are actually invoking the divine within us. So that's why music is so sacred in India.
U zavisnosti od religije, podneblja i lokalnih običaja, plesovi Indije su se vremenom razvijali, kreirajući pritome nepregledan broj stilova i fuzija. Najjednostavnija podjela indijskih plesova bila bi na klasične, narodne i moderne. Narodni plesovi razvijali su se samostalno i nezavisno u svakom regionu, razlikujući se prema lokalnim tradicijama, običajima i religijama.
Now when we talk about folk dance forms, I can't even count them, because the folk dance forms belong to different parts of India, different states of India, different regions of India. And in one region like Arunachal Pradesh, which is a small state in northeastern India, you have more than 100 forms of dances. Because as the region changes, the language changes, the dance form also changes. So dances are a form of expression. They are a form of storytelling. They are a form of also, I could say, transfer of various cultural elements from one generation to the other. So that's why it goes on and on and on, and there are so many ancient forms, and then they fuse with the modern forms, and then you have the contemporary dances and the Bollywood dances, of course.
Bollywood stil plesa nerazdvojni je dio bollywoodske filmske industrije nastale u Indiji prije 100 godina. Ovaj ples zabavnog karaktera nastao je spajanjem indijskih klasičnih plesova sa elementima tradicionalnih folklornih igara. Zanimljivo je da bollywoodska filmska industrija svake godine proizvede dvostruko više filmova nego što se proizvede u Americi, te skoro 10 puta više nego u Velikoj Britaniji.
When the film was first invented by Lumiere brothers, within the same year, film was shown and shot in West Bengal also. That was late 19th century. So India was in a way precursor of films in India in mid-19th, late 19th century. So it was not far behind. Of course, the silent era, they made films which were more of social nature. India was gaining independence, so films were made for, inspiring the people of India to fight against the British, the colonial rule. So down the years, what happened was that generally the Indians are follower of drama, that form of drama, through dance, through music, through theatre. All the gods and goddesses, if you see, they are depicted doing some kind of storytelling through their dance movements. So it was not a new thing for Indians. The only thing that attracted them was the technology. So because of so many languages, because of so many different types of cultures existing like a hot pot in India, like different languages producing films. So that is one of the reasons why there were so many films being produced even 100 years ago. So you would have a film made in Hindi, then similarly you will have a film made in Tamil, then you will have a film made in Marathi. There are different languages of India. So India is a house of, I don't know how many languages and dialects, more than 19,000 languages and dialects. Official languages could be 5,000 or 6,000, or maybe the official government language could be 21 or 22. But you have so many dialects, and films were made in those different dialects. So that is why the production is very, very high because of the different industries, because all the industries had, customers. So if you make a film in different languages and you have viewers who will go and watch those films, obviously the producers and the directors will keep producing. So people, I would say you had audience, you had amazing storytelling, you had beautiful technology coming in, and you had big market because films need money. So all these things put together, the Indian cinema market, I would say, I would not say Bollywood, the 1,000 films that you are mentioning is only probably Bollywood. So the whole entire cinema market is more than 1,500 or 1,800 films a year. So that kind of film market will only prosper if there are takers. So the people love dramas, they love songs and dances, and Indian films have everything. It is like a cup of masala tea. So you have sweetness there, you have spices, you have every kind of flavor there, and people enjoy it, and that is one of the reasons why you will have so many films being made.
Otkad je 2014. došao na vlast, premijer Narendra Modi postavio je promociju drevne indijske kulture u vrh svoje kulturne politike. Od tada Indija ima i ministarstvo za jogu. Joga je jedan od 6 pravaca učenja indijske filozofije. Značenje riječi joga dolazi iz sanskritskog korijena juđ, što znači jedinstvo. Najslikovitiji prikaz joge je univerzum, jedinstvo razlika. Svi živimo u univerzumu, u jedinstvu razlika, u jogi. Joga je univerzalna i nadilazi sva kulturna, tradicijska, religiozna i prostorno-vremenska ograničenja.
Yoga is as old as our ancient scripture Vedas. So it was first of all mentioned in the Vedas, this form of, modern people can call it exercise, but I would say it is a form of philosophy. So yoga is a philosophy. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, which is a very, very revered religious, Bhagavad Gita, which is a very, very revered religious book, Lord Krishna has actually talked about 4 forms of yoga. So he says that you have karma yoga, you have bhakti yoga, you have dhyana yoga. So all these forms of yoga, which means that our joining with the universe, our mind, body, spirit, joining with the universe can be done through various forms. So the modern way in which you see that, okay, yoga can be divided into breathing exercises and yoga can be divided into doing some postures is just a kind of a reformed way of yoga. So yoga is a way of life. So when we have very high thinking, when we have very good habits, when we know how to sit, how to stand, how to sleep, how to eat, all these things become a part of yoga. And that's why it's an ancient philosophy which is being, of course, promoted by the government of India in various forms. And one of the recent form was promoting the Surya Namaskar. So Surya Namaskar in English would be called sun salutations. Now all of us know that the biggest energy of the universe is sun. Who can deny that? But look at the way the ancient philosophers and sages promoted, utilizing the energy of the sun. So it was utilized through this form of Surya Namaskar, where you have these 12 types of postures, where you do it in front of the sun, you get vitamin D, then you do the exercise, and also you worship the nature. So this Surya Namaskar is a kind of a package of 12 asanas, which is actually paying homage to nature and to live a healthy and, I would say good life.
Nakon što je Skupština Ujedinjenih naroda 2014. godine proglasila 21. juni Međunarodnim danom joge i u Bosni i Hercegovini zaživjela je tradicija obilježavanja ovog datuma. Radi se o jednom od najvećih masovnih pokreta u svijetu koji se organizuje s ciljem postizanja dobrog zdravlja i blagostanja. Tako su svi oni koji praktikuju jogu u našoj zemlji imali priliku da u saradnji sa festivalom Sarajevska zima učestvuju u kampanji 750 miliona Surya Namaskara koju je pokrenula vlada Indije.
Now 750 million Surya Namaskar was a very, very clever, I would say, and very, very interesting campaign of the government of India, of Ayush Ministry and of the Sports Authority, Federation Authority of India with several other organizations, including ICCR, Indian Council for Cultural Relations. Now, because of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, because of the 75 years of independence celebration, they wanted to promote Surya Namaskar. And they wanted to tell the whole world that this is just a simple exercise. Let's start doing it. It comprises of 12 asanas. And if you do it in the lap of nature early in the morning or somewhere where you get a very nice positive energy, then you are actually imbibing good energy within yourself. And in this pandemic time, if you do it, you will feel good and healthy. And this 750 million, 75 crore Surya Namaskar was actually achieved. So the beautiful publicity, beautiful cooperation of different partners of ours, like in Bosnia, everywhere, it was done and we achieved 750 million Surya Namaskar. Because whoever did Surya Namaskar, they registered on the page and they also talked about it on the page. So it was visible that so many people are doing it.
Primjenjivana hiljadama godina prije nove ere, jedan od najpoznatijih oblika alternativne medicine, Ajurveda, drevni je indijski sistem liječenja kojim se i danas koriste milioni stanovnika Indije, Nepala i Šrilanke, a sve popularnija je i na zapadu. U Indiji je zovu majkom svih medicina. Ona uključuje konzumaciju zdrave hrane biljnog porijekla i druge aktivnosti kako bi se postigla ravnoteža u životu, prevenirale bolesti i postigao dug i sretan život. Ajurveda danas u Indiji ima poseban odjel u Ministarstvu zdravlja i socijalne zaštite.
If we look at the word Ayurveda, it is actually made of two parts. Ayur means life and Veda means knowledge or science. So it's basically knowledge or science of life. The word itself can tell you how deep the form of medication must be. So now if we go back to the ancient times, it was in a way first time mentioned in the Vedas, where of course the religious background is that there is a god called Dhanvantari and he was the god of medicine. So through that this term came into being, that the god Dhanvantari was looking after all the gods and treating the god. But let's come down to the practical aspect of it. This is thousands of years of medication format. I would say that it is a kind of a science which does not only treat diseases, it heals the entire mind, body and soul, and it also gives a life to the, it also gives a direction to how you should lead a harmonious life. So it uses forms of nature like herbs, like different kind of therapies. Also, it also treats somebody through the various constitution that you have, that is the nature of your body. So generally Ayurveda proposes that we have three types of nature, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So these are different types of divisions of our body which can be defined in different ways. For example, how we look, what kind of body type we have, tall, thin, thick or whatever. What kind of reactions do we do to different kinds of fruits and vegetables and spices and seasons and day and night and weather. That means how do we react. So these three constitutions, it doesn't mean that if somebody has a Vata constitution means that, oh, he has a very bad body type. It doesn't mean that. It's just that you have different types of body constitutions. So the treatment also will vary according to your body type. So it's more like a naturopathy. So it has to be natural, and you can imagine 3,000 or 4,000 years ago people were treating people like this. So in a way I would say that it's a very, very modern type of medicine where we should borrow from the purest of pure, that is nature. Instead of borrowing from artificial things or using antibiotics and all that, we are using actually treating diseases by good lifestyle. So what kind of food we should eat, what time do we sleep, how much water should we drink, how should we meditate, when should we sleep, all these things come under Ayurveda.
Indijsko vijeće za kulturne veze uspostavljeno je 1950. godine s ciljem promocije indijske kulture širom svijeta. Tokom godina pokrenuti su mnogi projekti promocije kulturne diplomatije, takozvane soft power ili meke moći. Postoji inicijativa Indijskog vijeća za kulturne odnose pri ambasadi u Budimpešti za akademsku i naučnu saradnju sa univerzitetima na svim nivoima u Bosni i Hercegovini u smislu razmjene studenata.
ICCR started these various types of scholarship programs where students from all over the world, including the countries which don't have very good facility of high level higher education, they promoted scholarship programs for all those students. In the past, there had been a lot of scholarship programs which were promoting undergraduate courses, graduate courses, PhD level courses, doctoral programs in all the subjects, including medicine, dental, and arts, music, Indian culture, various other things. Lately, they have even made it fully, paid. So the students can actually go to India and study without paying, and they can study in big universities, central universities, state universities, and it is one, of course, very good way of studying and getting education in subjects which might not be available in their countries, but it is also to learn Indian culture. It is also to understand India, and in future if they want to do something related with anything related with India, then it becomes like a bridge for them. And between the two countries, the relations, of course, will become stronger. So there are many scholarship programs. You also have I-Tech program where professionals can go for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and they can get trained in some specialized programs like accounting or maybe graphic designing or even media, journalism, various other things. So it is very successful, and we are lucky that Bosnia also has got 2 places since last year. So I am hoping that we will have some students go to India from Bosnia.